Because of what I want to discuss in this video, I need to say that I'm not a licensed medical professional, and what I'm going to talk about here isn't medical advice. I'm personally going through a traumatic situation, and I do see a licensed therapist regularly. It's part of my own, process to keep myself healthy and safe. And if you need to get help, you should definitely find your own, medical professional, a psychiatrist, a therapist, talk to your general practitioner, see what they recommend, but definitely don't take this journey on your own. That being said, there are things that I have done and that I have discussed with my therapist that I've been doing for my own personal benefit that have helped me out quite a bit, and I wanted to share some of those thoughts with you. So in a previous video, I had discussed how walking and walking in nature can be helpful for dealing with both the repetitive thoughts that occur in our heads, but also have helped me with like some of the physical symptoms of anxiety that I feel. So like I will be sitting at work or at my computer doing whatever, and I will start to feel that chest tightening, that stomach tightening sensation that's associated with anxiety. And I know in that moment that I need to do something to break that up, to do something different to help me get out of my negative thoughts that are causing that. So the walking has been very beneficial to me, but now I want to share a different tool with you. So in today's video, I want to discuss something called an internal locus of control. And this is a concept in therapy. And again, I'm not a therapist, but this is something I've learned from therapists that basically it pertains to a belief that we can do things actively to change our situation, to improve our situation, to control our situation. And this is as opposed to an external locus of control where people believe that basically they're just the victims of bad luck, that fate is deciding things for them, that they have no internal control. So I am currently dealing with a situation that has moments where I can do things about it and moments where I can't. And sometimes the internal locus of control is dealing with the things that can change your situation. So for me, that unfortunately involves lawyers and such. I've been working through a pretty traumatic situation that then involves a lot of waiting. There's times where I can't do anything. However, another part of having an internal locus of control is recognizing that, like, when we get stuck in these repetitive thoughts, these negative beliefs, we can change the pattern of thinking by doing something else that's beneficial. So, my walking strategy is one thing, but maybe if you don't want to try walking, like, or you need more than one strategy, like I do, you can find something else to do. I'm going to make a very general statement here now. Our brains basically only do two things. I know you're thinking that sounds a little nuts, but basically, our brains make patterns and they understand patterns. And that is everything from breathing, heart rate, the things that your body regulates to keep us alive, as well as, learning the alphabet and knowing how to fly a jumbo jet. It's all about making patterns and understanding patterns, right? And this is also true for emotional things. So, like when it comes to depression, we get locked into a certain way of thinking, and our brains tend to go over that and over that. And we respond in this very patterned way. So, we need some tools to get out of that. Like I said, like I have the one thing, and now I'm adding this other thing. And for me, I decided to build something for myself. I've, for the longest time, wanted to do a YouTube channel. I like talking to people. I thought it would be an interesting way to, grow my skill set and connect and, perhaps even make some income if this channel becomes successful. So I never thought this would be the content that I was making. However, learning to do this channel has been very beneficial for me. So the first thing that I get out of it is that my brain just gets into new territory. When I'm making these videos, I kind of don't have any idea of what I'm doing, although I'm starting to get there. And it takes a certain amount of mental energy to basically learn how the video tools work, learn different AI tools. I've been using some AI tools for images. I've even used AI tools to create videos from scripts that I've generated. You have to be careful with that. You got to make sure that your content is accurate, but those tools allow you to edit. I've definitely used a couple of the major ones. I'm not going to get into that too much here. And then also different ways to present myself. So, like this scenario where I'm sitting here in front of my computer with a microphone, using a webcam, a couple of ring lights, and I'm just learning the tools and the process of making videos, which takes me out of that headspace of thinking about my other situation, right? It allows me to think about this thing that I'm learning right now, and it's taking me in a positive direction. Um, the next thing is that it helps me better understand my own feelings about things. Like I'm actually sitting here talking to you about my very personal situation. I'm doing that openly and honestly as best as I can. And I have to be careful about who I'm talking about because, people are still, around that, this could impact their lives as well. However, I can talk to you about how I'm feeling and how I'm dealing with that. And then I will tell you that my situation is related to someone else's alcohol use and that is how I got into this. And I spent a lot of my time on these other videos thinking about, how alcohol affects people and how it changes people. And as much as that's dwelling on my current situation, it does help me reframe that. So for me, it's helped me realize how things get out of control and the parts of the brain, that are most affected are the ones, that really help people make good decisions and whatnot. And it's a mental illness, and it has allowed me to be more compassionate. So, yes, I'm still thinking about it, but I'm thinking about it in a different way and reframing that. And then finally, I do have a neuroscience PhD. So, this is kind of taking me back to my roots. It is, again, activating parts of my own brain that I haven't really thought about for a little while. I've been in a niche area of science writing, and now I'm sort of going back to the basics of, like how the brain works in the broadest sense. So, it's it's been a really good project for me to take myself out of the negative, repetitive thoughts of depression. This process has been imperfect. For one thing, like I said, I'm still learning. The other thing that I would say is, you have to let yourself have those bad days. Like I have been meaning to make this video for several days now, and some days, it's just hard to focus. Like I'm still working full time, which is great. I think that my strategies have helped me to continue to work full time. However, like when I get done with my days, I'm definitely a little more mentally exhausted sometimes, and I take to my walking strategy. Like it's important for me to get up and get out of this room, for example. And then I need to talk to someone. Like I'm by myself at the moment because of my current circumstances. And again, like I need to go out, get on the phone with someone, put in my AirPods, take a walk. Like this is how I'm dealing with this. And even if I don't make a video, even if I don't get to this project that I am very, very passionate about, I'm hoping that this becomes a real thing for me. Even if I don't get a video out, I'm thinking about it now, like time that I could be spending thinking about how sad my situation is, what I could have done to make things differently, when the horrible situation happened, how I could have possibly done better, like all that negative talk like this, thinking about the next thing that I might do here, the next tool that I might try, the next video that I might make, the next topic I might cover. I mean, even if I hear something on the radio, like I listen to the radio and sometimes someone covers a scientific paper and I think, oh, that would be something interesting to talk about on my channel. That all is mental energy that is not being spent on ruminating and feeling sad about things that are happening in my life. So, in summary, if you're dealing with trauma or struggling with depression, please find some professional help. I don't know that I would do anything myself. I haven't felt the need to harm myself or anything, so there's that. But I know that having professional support is, you know, it's very important. It's maybe the most important thing. And then think about what else you can do for yourself. So I offered two things here. I've offered the walking and I've offered my content creation, which is essentially I'm saying, get a hobby, build something, do something forward looking. And then, you know, don't think that talking alone is going to fix this. Medication alone probably won't fix your depression. You know, you have to create that internal locus of control. You know, there are the things that you can't do anything about, but there are a lot of things that you can. So, don't give up, keep trying, get help. And finally, I'll just say if you like this content, if you want to help me out, just click the like button, subscribe to my channel. Um, it's something that could help me out in the future, and I'll be back with more content. And also check out my video on walking. And I'd also like to offer up the video on why I don't drink alcohol. It's a part one. I haven't fully decided how to tell the rest of my story because I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want anyone else to be harmed because I've shared something that, is identifiable or personal to them. So that's it for today, and thank you for listening.